Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday, and I'm gathered with some of my favorite people from around the NFC North. So let's join that world. In a world where the stakes are high and the gridiron is king, where the cheers of the crowd echo through the ages, a fresh new chapter of Who Will Be King is about to unfold. From the not-so-icy tundra of Green Bay, a city steeped in football lore and frozen breath, the Packers are in the midst of a high-stakes negotiation. Their quarterback, Jordan Love, stands at a crossroad of his career with potential contract extension that could shape the future of the franchise. Venture with us into the industrious heart of Detroit, a city known for its resilience and tenacity. Here, the Detroit Lions Minicamp is serving as a providing ground for young talents. It's a stage where potential can transform into greatness, where every play can be the first step towards a legend. Then let's whisk you away to the windy city of Chicago, home of the historic Bears, a team looking for their place in the spotlight. Their minicamp is a hive of activity, providing revelations and sparking debates about the shape of the team to come. Lastly, journey with us to the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota. Here, the Vikings have struck history, securing their star receiver, Justin Jefferson, with a record-breaking contract, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. The Vikings have made a powerful statement to the rest of the league. Join us for this week's episode of Who Will Be King, where we dissect the headlines, analyzing the game changers, and bring you the latest news and insights from the NFC North. Our dedicated team of expert analysts will guide you through the intricate web of contracts, minicamps, and the ever-evolving landscape of one of the NFL's most competitive divisions. There's much more to explore, much to discuss, and much at stake in the world of the NFC North. So grab your gear, settle in, and prepare for a deep dive into the heart of football. This is Who Will Be King? Let the battles begin. And here we are today, the first week of June 2024. Mandatory minicamps are underway for all three of our teams that are here: Pay, Foster, and me, Dave. Packers are still in OTAs. Their mandatory minicamp is next week. Now, everybody knows that June is usually here at this time, and if he gets his power back, he'll join us. But right now he's without power. A storm moved through in his neighborhood and he went dark. Well, that happens sometimes, but not to miss a beat, we still have from the Motor City himself, B. Foster. Foster, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good. Glad to have power. Me and June don't live too far apart. but I'm holding it down right now. We'll make it happen.
Good. And over from the city of broad shoulders, where the wind blows through the buildings and knocks everybody down, we have Pay representing your Chicago Bears. How are you doing, Pay?
I'm excellent, man. You haven't lived until you've been knocked over by some wind.
Hey, walking out of the old Metrodome felt like walking in downtown Chicago. You had to brace yourself or you were going to be pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here today, this week, to talk about a few things. There's some headlines across our favorite teams. But I want to start out first with the man, and not figuratively, the team in the middle, the Green Bay Packers. Right? This week, it is announced that the Packers are in contract extension talks with Jordan Love, their quarterback, and they hope to extend him by the time training camp comes around. And I think the quote is from GM Matt Gutekunst that this is neither easy nor will it be quick, but they expect them to finalize a deal before training camp, and Love's annual pay could meet or exceed $50 million per year.
I'm sorry, Dave. Was that 5-0 you said?
That was 5-0.
Not a decimal missing?
Huh?
Not a decimal missing anywhere?
Nope. $50 million on average. Exceed that. Do you think it's going to happen, and would you like to see it?
I don't think I need to answer that second question. Because yes, anything that steers the Packers in the wrong direction, in the direction that I think is the right direction, makes me happy. Do I think it will happen though? That is tricky. The highest paid quarterback right now, AAV, would be Burrow, right?
I think so.
I think he's at 55 million. Yeah, so I'll filibuster while you look it up. I think if Burrow's at 55, I cannot imagine, even a team like the Packers, I can't imagine them going that crazy. I know the market's changed just a tad since Burrow signed his contract, I don't know, 330 days ago. So it might be a little, they might be pressed. They might have to actually pay him in the upper 40 millions, because I remember Daniel Jones signed his 40 million, and which seemed like an eon ago. I think that was 2 seasons ago. So that's old thinking. That's old money. So I guess maybe 50 million is the math right now. But Jesus, Burrow, only 5 million difference from Jordan Love.
Right now,
what does the world come to?
You are correct. Joe Burrow is making 55 mil per season. Behind him is Jared Goff at 53. Then comes Justin Herbert at 52.5. Lamar Jackson, 52. And then we get to Jalen Hurts at 51. And we don't get to below 50 until Kyler Murray at 46.1. Is Love better than Murray?
Shout out to Mail in Motion in the comments, who's a big Cardinal fan. That's a loaded question. I don't think I would say Kyler Murray is a lot better than Jordan Love, even though we, as you said in your intro, which great intro, Dave, awesome, Emmy style work. Jordan Love only did 7 games of elite quarterback work. It seems premature to have to give him $50 million a year now, but that's on the Packers. They set him down for so long while they coddled that baby, their previous quarterback. So this is the game. This is the reward you get. when you do certain things like that. You got to pay a guy for 7 games. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks who did the same about 10 years ago. Yeah, but as far as Kyler Murray versus Jordan Love, no, I've seen Murray do a lot of good things over the course of a season. Well, let me slow down. No.
Or at least before
Yeah.
the video game comes out.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is usually a first 8 games, and then the league's like, okay, let's stop this, and then he comes back to earth. So I don't know. 47 million for Love, 47 to 49 million might be fair.
Foster, what do you think? Is that too much? Is that fair?
It's crazy, but they're out here spending money, so they're all in on Jordan Love, and I've seen people talk about they're gonna overtake the Lions, and so by all means, good for him. It's neither here nor there for me. Do what you got to do. It'll take the heat off of Goff getting the money he's getting, so why not?
And as opponents of the Packers, I think we all agree, the more they pay him, the better, because that's going to hamstring him in the future, and
Yes.
we want that.
Yes.
Well, also from their news headlines, their kicking competition, they have Greg Joseph they got from the Vikings last year. We did not re-sign him for a reason. He is competing with Anders Carlson, and Anders Carlson, who is their previous kicker, seems to be winning that so far, which is good. They've signed their 2nd-round pick. We have, let's see, what else is in there? Anything good? Oh, Jair Alexander and Xavier McKinney are already on the same page in the Packers secondary, according to their beat writers. We are starting to get the love and slop, that comes traditionally out of Green Bay, where everything is copacetic and working great, and they're going to be the next Super Bowl champions. Nothing is new there. So that's basically it out of Green Bay. And that is our Green Bay segment for this week.
Wrapped it up in 5 minutes. Excellent job.
Now, I cannot go any further without broaching the subject of the biggest news of the week across all 4 teams in the NFC North. It was one topic. Foster, you want to start off with it?
The biggest news about the signing of signing Justin Jefferson? Yeah, that's he's as you said, the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Best receiver in the game. He should be paid as such. So salute to him.
Yep, it was quite a bit of money. $140 million over 4 years, $35 million on average per year, with 110 of it guaranteed. Pay? Would you like that sort of payday?
Would I like it? Let's see. How fast can I sign a check to get me that type of money? I don't think FloJo would run faster than I could to get that type of money. Justin Jefferson's been breaking records ever since he stepped foot in the NFL, on the field and now off the field. Salute to that young man. 35 million, a whole 3 million more than the previous record. That is amazing. I mean, we saw it, and you called it out, Dave. Kudos to you. You called out the exact number and the exact length of the contract. Shout out to you. That's why, you're the vet here. I'm happy for him. It's well-deserved. He is the best wide receiver in the game by bar none. There's a period behind his name on best receiver. 35 million, it's well-deserved, as I said. And the Vikings have a lot of lot of wiggle room to play with, and as of right now, well, this year and next year, if I think I saw correctly. So it shouldn't even be an issue to them financially yet. But
it won't be for the next 4 years.
Yeah, good. I'm happy for him, and I'm hope he gets every penny of what he signed for.
The original or the first part of the guarantee is almost 89 million. It's 88.75 or 73, something like that. He'll get that when he signs the contract, which should have happened yesterday. And then he gets the next 30-ish on top of that next year. And it's just, if I was him, we're talking folks in Minneapolis, he should have called the state police, give him an escort, or take him to the building in Egan as fast as possible. I'm going to put my name on that piece of paper, Justin Jefferson, and watch that bank transfer. Bink, bink.
I would have, if I was him, I would have called my teammate, my running buddy in the wide receiver room, Jordan Addison. Hey, I need a ride. Let's go. I know you can get me there fast.
And we joked about that too. It could be. I think it's a great deal. Now, there's one stat. Now, you'll get disagreement from the folks down in Dallas because they think CeeDee Lamb's a better wide receiver. And I say, absolute horse crap. That's not the case. And there's one stat I wish to show everybody. Let me bring it onto the screen real quick. It is double teams over the last 2 seasons. And that's in percentage. Justin Jefferson has set a new record since this stat has been tracked for double teams at almost 33%. 1 out of every 3 plays, he gets minimum double teams. That does not count the triple teams, which he does. And that to me is amazing that people pay that much attention because he can do that much damage and still averages nearly 100 yards a game for every single game of his career. Nobody else has come close. And if you want to know the average, it's over 98 yards per game. And that to me is just amazing. So it is what it is, and we flip screens for some reason. Go back to where we were, and no, we can't because I just deleted that. Well, let's see if I can bring it back. Here we go.
I'll filibuster again. So Dave, I love the data. Take that for data. Shout out to David Fisdale. I'm looking at the names here in the top 5. 2 of them stand out to me: Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Hopkins. One, just without me drawing on many games watching the Tennessee Titans, I would assume that DeAndre Hopkins was getting double teamed because he was literally the only guy running routes in most cases. Those games. So with Cooper Kupp, him getting double teamed, I'm not sure what type of percentage this is, or is this percentage or amount of times?
Percentage. Okay, so that kind of tracks with Cooper Kupp.
This was 2022 to 23. This wasn't last year, right?
No, this was the last
it was 2 seasons. 2 seasons. Oh yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. And as you saw, I think the guy at number 6, just outside the top 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown, which again just furthers my case. Is I was telling everybody that would listen to me when he got signed, top 5 bona fide wide receiver, and the league, the defenses give him that type of respect.
Yeah, to me, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I think it's fantastic. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the Vikings because what's the best thing to help a young quarterback?
Yeah.
An all-star wide receiver. That's
sure hands out there and running around. That's you need that as a quarterback, especially with the young one.
And for some reason, I just dorked up that last screen, so I'm going to fix this one. Doing it on the fly, bring Foster to the big screen in the middle because he deserves
Superstar.
it.
I do deserve it now.
And we'll go from there. Mel's warning us there's a cheesehead in the building. We'll find out.
The ops are lurking. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. The first segment, was it not, on the Green Bay Packers? And we did not insult them whatsoever. I did not. That'll come
I tried.
later. Don't worry. But JJ met, and we shouldn't call him JJ. He's already said he's not JJ. JJ McCarthy's JJ. He's Jets or Jettas.
To the bank.
To the bank. All the way to the bank and let him go. So Jettas has stepped in. He's saying he's taking over the leadership role on the team, which he should. He's the best player and he's the most paid. Why not? And everything looks grand and great in Eagan, Minnesota, where our training facility is. And I suspect Sam Darnold will be happy, more than happy, to throw him footballs all day long. But that was the biggest news of the week. Now, people asked, did he get overpaid? Do you think he got overpaid pay?
Absolutely not. Again, Justin Jefferson is the number one receiver in the league with a bullet. There's only other wide receiver that can even have a conversation with him right now is CeeDee Lamb, and it would have to be a short conversation.
Okay.
I don't think Tyreek Hill is there anymore. I don't think Nuke is, he's on the downside of his career. Amon-Ra St. Brown, not enough work just yet. He's approaching, but there's a gulf in between Amon-Ra St. Brown and Justin Jefferson. So it's really Justin Jefferson and no one else, to be honest with you. And does that justify, just being the best in your position group, does that justify $35 million a year? Well, if the market's paying one guy $32 million a year and you're better than him by a lot, yes, it does.
Well, Foster, do you remember who the previous number one non-quarterback paid player was? Who's not number two?
Non-quarterback, was it Aaron Donald? I don't know.
No, but you're thinking on the right side of the ball.
Oh, on the right side of the ball. Oh, I have no idea.
Nick Bosa.
Oh, I would not have guessed that. I mean, I know he gets paid a lot of money, but I wouldn't have guessed.
He gets paid $34 million a year.
Wow.
He had a 5-year contract that pays him $34 million on average per year. The Justin Jefferson contract is basically the same contract, only for 4 years, plus $1 million. That's all it is. And Nick Bosa got his last year. So $1 million in just inflation for, and Big Rail and Dad got it, is comparable. Now, I was listening to PFF today. The second most important person on the team to producing points or preventing points is the wide receiver. The number one wide receiver.
You said producing and preventing?
Preventing. Because a few years ago, we were always, you need that big edge rusher, or you need that big interior guy that can get lots of sacks, or you need that number one shutdown corner, because those are high up there as value-wise as well. But what PFF has found in their last 5 or 6 years worth of data is those guys can be shut down. They can be schemed around. Whereas a wide receiver, especially of Justin Jefferson's talent, he can make a difference whether he's double-teamed or triple-teamed. And that makes the huge difference in why wide receiver number one is becoming the second most important position when it comes to expected points over the defensive guys.
I like where you're going with this, but if that's the case, if a wide receiver can make an effect on a game, regardless if he has the ball, regardless if he's schemed correctly for, then I would think that offensive coordinator dollars should start going up. Because if you can make a scheme where, let's say Justin Jefferson, let's use him as the example. He's a one of one. We've never seen anything like them. The only thing closest to him is Randy Moss, and he's outdone Randy Moss in the first 4 years of his career, right? If you can, and you remember the Randy ratio and all those things that they try to implement to make Randy an unstoppable force, whether he has the ball or not. If you were to do something like that with Justin Jefferson or Tyreek Hill or anybody like that, you would have to scheme it perfectly. You would have to have some type of McVay type route combinations where, yes, you've got all your defense flowing to the right side of the ball. Yes, you've got 3 guys' eyes locked in on him and the rest of the other defense locked on the quarterback. Guess what? That means this one guy is running a drag across the middle of your field unchecked, and we're going to eat off that until you correct it. And then once you correct it, Justin Jefferson is going to score 7. If you can do that, I mean, yes, then I'll agree. The wide receiver 1 is the second most important position on the team. And then number 3 would be an offensive coordinator.
Well, yeah, if you want to take the coaches. But it all starts with the quarterback. Quarterback's obviously the first. But if a wide receiver can produce as much as JJ or the top wide receivers in the league, you hope to have some developing pay. Foster has Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're hoping that those guys make a bigger difference than that one superstar on the defense. Because the defense to succeed and those superstars on the defense to succeed, they need to be paired up with somebody so that those guys are taking pressure off the superstar some way, somehow. Because if you have the best corner in the league, how do you defeat the best corner in the league? You throw the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you have the best edge rusher in the league, how do you beat him? You double team him and you roll out the other direction. There are ways to combat that. But if you have the best wide receiver in the league and a competent offensive coordinator, like you said, that's calling the plays, they can scheme him open, or he has the ability himself to catch footballs, whether it be double teamed or triple teamed or whatever, contested, non-contested, via speed, and they produce more points for than that defender does against. And that's why PFF is adjusting their paradigm as to who's important. And the money will follow that way as well. So, selling McCarthyism, one of my favorite commenters over on my side, who tends to look at the glass half empty, until there's proof that the highest paid wide receivers won a Super Bowl. There have been very, very good wide receivers that have won Super Bowls. He believes the team will perpetually be not great. Selling McCarthyism, how long have we been around? Since 1961. How many rings do we have? Goose egg. We happen to be the 4th or 5th winningest percentage in the NFL history. And not a single Lombardi trophy at all.
To his credit, the Vikings have had stud receiver after stud receiver after stud receiver for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Chris Carter. You go back to Anthony Carter. Hey, Gene Washington before that. Ahmad Rashad. We've had tons of them. Yeah. Ahmad Rashad. You remember him as basketball.
From NBA stuff.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm. No,
Ahmad
Rashad was wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings.
When was that? Come on, help me out.
The 70s.
Okay.
And he was good. Okay, he was damn good.
I believe it.
And he was one of the first players at the time that switched religion and name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like Muhammad Ali,
Yep, exactly. Like Muhammad Ali, like
Kareem
Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem, all those guys. And Bud Grant, the story is, as soon as he came in and said, Coach, I'm switched. I want to be called Ahmad Rashad. Bud Grant, you're Ahmad. And ever after that, he's been Ahmad Rashad. And he went on from football to broadcasting, and then especially in the NBA. Cut his bones, but he did both NFL and NBA. Great man.
That's
Just
cool.
absolutely fantastic. And he was good.
Yeah, he was Jordan's mouthpiece while he was in the media. Yeah, he was very, very. After he parlayed that fantastic run he had with the Minnesota Vikings into a fantastic media career and married Felicia Rashad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Claire
Oh,
Huxtable.
She was. But selling McCarthyism hasn't seen it on the Minnesota side, but it has happened. Jerry Rice with San Francisco. You have the triplets down at Dallas. You had Lynn Swan and Stallworth at Pittsburgh. There have been very, very good wide receivers that helped their teams win Super Bowls. And it's just that it hasn't happened in Minnesota. So hopefully this will be the year. I doubt it. I think our window opens up next year, but we'll find out.
I'm not too sure about the pay for Rice, Irving, Rocket Ismail, and some of the other ones you named as examples. I would assume that they were up at the top of their position pay, but just recent. Thinking back recently, I'm thinking Terrell Owens was the highest paid wide receiver when the Philadelphia Eagles went to the Super Bowl. And what was that, 2004, 2006, something like that?
Well, the
So
early ones, it was before free agency, so the pay was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Big Rail and Dad, back then, running backs were a major portion of that. I agree.
True.
But you can't deny that Stallworth and those type of wide receivers weren't important, because they were important to their teams winning. Just like, well, you take the Patriots, they've had good ones as well. We'll find out if it works out or not. We don't know yet. This is something new for the Minnesota Vikings. It's like drafting a quarterback in the top 10. We've never done it before. So you pair it up, we're going to find out. But you don't get rid of generational players that are Hall of Fame bound. That does not win you games. It didn't win when we got rid of Randy Moss. So
helped Tom Brady though.
Yeah. Oh, it helped Tom Brady. But that year when he threw the 50 touchdowns and they went, what? 18-1? 18-1. And they lost in the Super Bowl to Tom Brady's, thorn in the side, Eli Manning, and that New York Giants defense. That was crazy. But I'm happy for Justin. Justin is a fantastic individual. He doesn't seem to have gone diva yet, which is good. And so I'm happy for the team. I think it's a great deal. We have a bridge quarterback right now in Sam Darnold, only making $10 million. We have a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, who hopefully will sit most of the year as he gets ready to play. And we have 4 free years to pay the man. Let's pay the man. You got to pay to the minimum. Pay the best guy. So let's see how that goes. And then afterwards, JJ and JJ are pretty much paired up when it comes to time for extension talks. And we'll see after that. Minnesota only has one big extension left up on the docket, and it'll probably happen next year, and that's Christian Darrisaw.
Mm-hmm.
And we have plenty of cap space to take care of it. They could do it this year if they wanted. If they agreed, of course. But it is what it is. Yep. Randy couldn't win it all. That's the one thing he missed. And it was
I am
because of the
learning.
Giants.
I'm learning a lot in the comment section. Hashtag purple pessimism.
Oh, we've got plenty of them.
That is good. I like that. Someone said a while ago that let's see what Jefferson can do without Cousins. That blew my mind for a second.
Okay.
There's a big discussion.
Trolls.
There was, watch, Jefferson will quit because he wants to go with Kirk Cousins. Well, that didn't happen. And Jefferson's not going to do an extension because Kirk Cousins moved on. That didn't happen. He knew exactly what was being planned. This, according to the team, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell had planned this when they took over brand new. It was on their check sheet of what to do, and it came to this year. It was sign Justin Jefferson.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, great players. You want to keep great players. I mean, you don't want to turn this into baseball where you let great players walk year after year after year. Yeah, the Vikings did right. Cousins, I'm gonna just say it. Kirk's not a winner. Tell me about stats, and stats don't equal wins and all the other whatever. Kirk got a lot of great numbers, and Kirk is on his third team. The best thing Kirk ever did was sign checks. As far as anything on the field, whatever you can replicate Kirk any other time. You keep the wide receiver though. This is the best one the Vikings have had since Moss.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep him in house.
And if he persists at this level of play, he'll be better than Moss, which is amazing.
True.
I mean, we went from, like you said, the long lineage of great wide receivers, and there's tons of them in there. But the best of the best started with Chris Carter, who at the time was arguably the best. Now, if you took out Jerry Rice's longevity, and Jerry Rice basically played for two quarterbacks versus two Hall of Fame quarterbacks versus Chris Carter not playing for any and bouncing around in multiples, Chris Carter was fantastic. Then comes in Randy Moss. We know the story of Randy. Randy, especially that Thanksgiving Day game as a rookie against Dallas, lighting it up. All that stuff goes in. And JJ is now producing more and better numbers than either of those two of any wide receiver in the history of the NFL. He deserves it. And I'm happy for him.
Agreed.
So we'll see. Well, that was the biggest headline across the NFC North and basically across the entire league this week. I know how much of a Kirk fan he was. Yeah. But it's funny. Kirk Cousins was a highly talented quarterback. I got frustrated with him quite often, but he was a very talented, quality quarterback. There was just a few things that I wish he would have improved and started to win, and I think Kevin O'Connell helped with that. And he's taken that on the road to make more money. Good for him. I wish him all the success in the world, except for when he plays the Vikings or any other team in the NFC North, which will happen. Now, the other thing that's happening this week is mandatory minicamps for all three of us. Pay, what's going on at your minicamp location?
Thanks, Dave. I learned something else today, that the Green Bay Packers are bringing the rest of the division down. Why are they not in minicamp yet? All right, that's why they're going to finish in fourth. In any case, the Bears opened up mandatory minicamp, and the best thing possible happened day one. We had 100% attendance. That is music to my ears. I, you want everybody there. You're not mad if someone's not there for personal reasons or whatever else. People have other motives that are more important to them. You step back and just, hey, work it out. But the Bears had 100% attendance, so we are on the right track as things are starting to ramp up headed to the season. Now, when I say 100% attendance, I don't mean everybody was on the field, getting sweaty and knocking, getting the juices flowing. Nate Davis was on the sideline doing individual work because Nate Davis hates practice. I don't know. I don't know about him, but we had everybody show up perfect. And the other guy that showed up that we had concerns with, filed us away for later on the Bear Claw. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. Was Keenan Allen silently holding out because he hadn't showed up for anything or had a press conference ever with the Chicago media since he got traded to the Bears? He was there. He had his first press conference. He made mention of Justin Jefferson's new deal, as the media will do. They will ask those follow-up questions. Say, how does that make you feel as you are in your last year of your deal? He said, yeah. Justin Jefferson is a tide that rises all ships, and that's facts. He's not going to get anywhere near 30 next year if he chooses to play, but he'll get more than what he would have if the scale didn't tip out as high as it is right now. So again, great news. Everybody's there, including Keenan Allen. I am happy for it. The big news that's circulating coming out of minicamp, Caleb Williams, up and down, as some of the reporters are saying. They said he threw an interception, to which Eberflus did come in a press conference with the media, and he praised Caleb on that interception. He said the reads were great. The progression was exactly as it should have been, which is some of the issues that we had with Justin Fields. Certain reads and certain progressions weren't as they should have been, but Caleb did exactly what he was supposed to do. The interception was caused by Caleb having a delayed release. You pump it once but don't let it go. You bring it back down, and now you let it go on the second one. That gave the defense enough time to react. Kevin Byrd, as the veteran as he is, a former All-Pro, he snuffed it out, came up and took that pass as soon as he got in the air. So learning moment for the kid. Other than that, everything should be good. I mean, these are the type of things you want to fix during this time. You want to fix this in June because week one, we're ready to roll. The defense is ahead of the offense as of right now, as we saw during the OTAs, which is expected. The defense is a lot of vets. They've been in this system. This will be the third year they're in this system with Eberflus. The offense, this is the first year, 2 months under Shane Waldron, and they're being led by a rookie. So the defense is supposed to be ahead of the offense. The defense is supposed to be a step quicker at this point. So everything that I've said, 100% attendance. Defense is where they should be. Caleb is reading, making the correct reads. Everything's going according to plan. Loving it. And also, there was a small little fight. I don't know if you want to call it a fight. I don't think it reached that level. Maybe call it a skirmish, brouhaha, dust up.
Little tiff between players.
There you go. Tiff between a little tiff, a little recess shove match that broke out there because Walker, one of our defensive ends, he got a little too close to the golden child, and the offensive lineman had to step up and protect him. Unlike what the players for the Indiana Fever do with their golden child.
Well, and that's exactly what an offensive lineman should do.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's threatening their quarterback, they need to step up and defend that man, no matter what. Now, I've got a couple questions for you. How's Austin Booker looking?
As of right now, everything is good on the reports for Austin. Nothing negative so far. There was a there was some injury. Let me not say injury, but I think he had pulled up on some of those workouts. I don't think it was an injury report, rather more so just like, hey, so and so, like he didn't finish this drill because of, I forget what is. I don't think it wasn't a hamstring, nothing soft tissue related. But other than that, everything sounds great coming from Austin.
What about Montez Sweat?
Montez Sweat, they were talking to him. They were asking the media asked him how does it feel finally getting into the offseason work with the Eberflus and the rest of the defense. As you know, he was traded to the Bears after week 8, I believe. And he's got it sounds like he's ready to assume the role as the defensive leader, which is great because we really don't have a leader. You would probably say maybe Kevin Byard. As I said, he was an All-Pro, but so there's been talk that Kevin Byard is the vocal leader in the locker room right now, and which would you expect for a 31-year-old? But after one day of minicamp, a lot of people say no. It's Sweat. Sweat's gonna be the guy. Everybody's gonna stand behind Sweat and let him charge in the battle.
Big Rail and Dad says those guys better have passion when Dallas Turner introduces himself to Caleb.
Oh, they better have passion. If and when that happens, and I don't think the offensive line. They did play well last year, but I don't think the offensive line is that highly rated. But I expect Dallas Turner to make some noise, but we will have a response.
Stop Bears.
All right, one last deal. Your head coach, Matt Eberflus, is calling DeAndre Swift a weapon back. What is a weapon back?
Hey, yo.
It's just something that, Flus is, he got a new lease on life. He's got a new haircut. He looks a lot more relaxed now. So he's just throwing stuff throwing stuff on the wall because he just feels like, hey, I'm a new man now. Weapon back is just a Swiss Army knife, which is Swift. Swift has been his whole career. Swiss Army knife. You can utilize him in a lot of different ways. I had to clean that up, Foster. I think there's been some talk of lining him out wide a lot, because the Bears do have a bit of a deep running back room. So there's been some talk of lining him up out wide and deploying Khalil Herbert out of the backfield and just running and just rushing sets. It's we'll see.
Good. Well, we go from Chicago to Detroit. Foster, how's your mandatory minicamp going?
Oh, it's looking good. There's a lot of buzz going on about our secondary and the new look that we have. My first round pick, Terrion Arnold. But the most interesting aspect that I am looking into is our defensive line. We got a brand new coach, Terrell Williams, who's very highly touted, one of the most respected defensive coaches in the NFL. He was very pivotal in developing Jeffrey Simmons and what the Tennessee Titans have been able to do on the defensive line side. But we got some new additions, DJ Reader and Matthew Betts, who we snagged from the CFL. So I'm really interested to see how that develops. Like I said, the defensive line about their pass rush was very heavily scrutinized, but we were very strong against the run last year. We were third best in yards per carry and had the second least amount of yards as far as defending the run is concerned. Our linebacking core was very slept on last year, and I'm excited to see what Jack Campbell was able to do in his second year, as well as Malcolm Rodriguez, who's going into his third year. But outside of that, Brandon Joseph, who was an undrafted free agent, has been making some noise. He had an interception, I believe, on Jared Goff, if I'm not mistaken. It was either Jared Goff or Nate Sudfeld, but he's been making some noise. There's been questions about it. Do we need to go and get more depth as far as the safety room? So he's definitely putting his bid in. But also there's a miniature competition between Hendon Hooker and Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld obviously has been with the organization previously, but Hendon Hooker, we're hoping is going to be the undisputed backup quarterback behind Jared Goff. He was a 3rd-round pick this past year, but they say that competition is going to be a little bit closer than what we expected. So that's pretty much been the buzz in the minicamp thus far, is basically seeing who is going to compete for that opposite edge rusher role on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, who obviously has that sewn up. So we got Matthew Betts, we got James Houston, we obviously have Davenport, who somebody said in the comments, is he hurt yet? And not yet, but we will we will see.
Wait till the season starts.
Yeah, we're gonna wait it out.
Now, there's a few things I saw this week. One, Kirby Joseph. According to Doug Farrar, who we've had on our show before, he did a ranking of all the safeties in the league.
Okay.
And do you know where he ranked Kirby Joseph?
I don't know. I'm curious. I'm just as curious as everybody else, actually.
Number 6.
Okay.
Out of
all
64 safeties.
Wow. I like that. I love that.
I'm glad you're happy for that. And the other thing I thought was interesting was Dan Campbell talking about your rookie offensive lineman from, Nova Scotia or wherever he's from, Giovanni Manu.
Yeah.
Says he's swimming. And it'll probably get worse before it gets better.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, it's not played football before, type deal, or at this level. He's got to learn. And it's going to get, it's like being fed with a fire hose. It's going to get worse. And then once it clicks, then you'll get that quick ramp up.
Finding his sea legs, as they say.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I learned that term recently. I like it.
Well, that brings us to the Vikings mini camp. Today is day 2 of that, as long as everybody else, as we record on this Wednesday. The Vikings had just about everybody there. They're missing a few due to dings and injuries, and of course, possible wide receiver 3, Jalen Naylor, who is very good when he plays, but he has the problem of constantly being injured. He's missed the first 2 days of minicamp due to being sick. And we just shake our head. It's one of those players that is just very good that you want there. Davenport's one of them, right? That you want there, could win the job, the whole works, but can never seem to stay healthy. They don't take their vitamins or whatever it is. We wish we could keep him there and competing. So that's what it is. But everybody's happy. We signed Dalton Risner, our left guard from last year. We signed him to a very inexpensive deal, basically veteran minimums with some incentives, much to his chagrin, because he wanted starting guard money. Pay, do you know what starting guard money is in the league? Give me a range, dollar amount.
12 to 17 million a year.
It generally runs 8 to 21 for a starting guard. Dalton Risner, his base is like 1.75, and he can go up to 2.5. And he will be competing with 4th-year guard Blake Brandell, who we originally drafted as a tackle. And it's going to be an interesting battle. I think Brandel's practicing with the ones, and it's his spot to lose, but it's going to be interesting. We also have the fact that Sam Darnold is without a doubt establishing himself as the QB1 as of right now. And that's on purpose. One, he's playing well, but Sam Darnold always did play well during the offseason when there's no pressure. What happens was Sam Darnold is what happens during games that count. He's playing well. Everybody's liking what they're saying. He's going to be starting. J.J. McCarthy is taking reps with the third team, which, like Payu said, is all as scheduled. This is how we want to ramp up, whether it be the defense is ahead of the offense, whether the young guys coming up slowly, they've got to win their accolades and develop. It's all as scheduled. There's nothing to be worried about. Thank you, Big Rail and Dad. Yes, $2.4 million tops, which is for a veteran that's been in the league. This will be his 6th year. That's not a whole lot of money.
Wait, so you're saying the top paid guard is less than $3 million a year?
No, our starting guard from last year.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And he's a decent pass blocker. He started out in Denver, and then he came to Minnesota last year. He's a decent pass blocker, but he can't run block worth a shit. That's why it lasted until last week before he got signed. And he was frustrated because he got no interest from anybody else either. So it is what it is. Minnesota Vikings are also trying an experiment where they're moving N'Keal Harry to tight end. N'Keal Harry was a first-round draft pick from the Patriots as a wide receiver 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. He was the 32nd pick in the draft. He is 6'4", 225 pounds. And we got him last year, played him at wide receiver. He's a decent wide receiver, but not great. And they're moving him into tight end. He's got plenty of frame to put on the muscle. They've got to get him to block better, learn to block better, learn to block in line. I mean, that's tight ends do that. But they hope to use him as a catching threat, much like T.J. Hawkinson, because T.J. Hawkinson most likely will start the season on IR. Thanks to a certain...
Where's Hawk in his rehab?
He's not even close. We won't see him till the second half of the season. Thanks to a Detroit player.
Yeah, those Detroit players.
The number 6 ranked safety in the NFL. Don't forget that part.
But we'll see. Big Round Carter only weighs 255. He's not heavy enough. Depends what position. And I agree that's not as big as you want him, but we'll find out. Some guys play light. We'll see. But they feel I don't see it. Harry and his ability to be explosive and with contested catches will be a big benefit. And it's a way to extend Harry's career because he's not going to make it as a wide receiver. And so if he makes it as a tight end, hey, buddy, we're cool with that.
I don't think he's going to make it as a tight end either.
Well, we have today and tomorrow, I think, are the final days of our mini camps. And then next week, our last OTAs. And for us, at least in Minnesota, they're going to be the second year and rookie guys with a few select vets. And that's it. Just like the rookie minicamp. So you guys will probably do pretty much the same.
I expect it.
But that's our show today, folks. I want to thank everybody that's joined us in the chat, whether it be optimistic or pessimistic or for the Cardinals, the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, whoever you root for. Let's have a great season. Now, any last words there, Pay?
My last words are always bear down, but you can always find great bear content at the Bear Claw Pod anywhere you get your podcast: Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Pandora. Right, we're doing right now. It's after Memorial Day, and if you're like me, it's time for fantasy big boards. It's time for you to start mock drafting. We're doing fantasy breakdowns of every position group, and we're going to run that up until training camp. Checking it out.
Foster, what are you guys doing over there in Detroit?
Oh, all of our visual content is on Bleachers To Speakers for the most part. Please subscribe to the YouTube. Other than that, we are on all streaming platforms under the same name. And if you are about baseball, please subscribe to Corner to Copa. The visuals are still at Bleachers To Speakers, and then we got the post-game podcast for you Pistons fans as well. NBA draft coming up.
Yep. And of course, Vikings First and SKOL can be found at Vikings First and SKOL YouTube, where you're watching, at Vikings First and SKOL podcasts on any aggregator, and Vikings First and SKOL in writing, both at Fans First Sports Network under the Vikings tab and over on Facebook. Now, what do we all agree with?
The Packers suck.
Packers suck.
Middle finger to the Packers.
What do we say, Pay?
Bear down.
Foster, you got the roar?
I do not have the roar.
Claws up, Foster. Claws up.
SKOL Vikings. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast aggregator. Thank you for listening to this NFC North group effort on the Fans First Sports Network. This has been the Bear Claw Podcast, Bleachers To Speakers, Vikings First and SKOL, and of course, the Fans First Sports Network production. Thank you for listening.